Hello, welcome back. And we are now presenting our next speaker. Let me share. And from here. So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So, welcome, Gisa. She is a service designer expert that she's currently working at KONE. And if you are in Finland, I'm sure you've heard about the company. It's one of the biggest company, an international company in the country. What does Gisa do daily? So she ensures that technology meets user and customers' needs. She maps the end-to-end service experience and she creates insights. And together with the team, she finds and visualizes opportunity for new development areas and improvements. So you are maybe not the IT geek per se. So your role is more broader than the roles that we are listening until now, at least from my understanding, because I can understand what you are doing. So that makes a less of an IT role. So thanks a lot for coming today. You can now present your own slides, and we are looking forward to listen what actually you do in your daily job and how you land that position, what makes interesting, and which tips and advices you have for our audience.
Thank you very much. And as you said, indeed, it is a very more generic role, I think, than maybe what you've been hearing from today. So I would like to start with a small presentation about myself, and also a disclaimer that right now I will talk more what service design is, of course, from like the perspective of KONE, because this is where I am. And this is because service design is a very stretchable type of role. So it's a generalist role. So basically you have to be able to do a little bit of everything along the design, like for design. So you go from understanding business needs and understanding the business opportunities, finding, doing research, understanding the customer, understanding the user, finding who the user could be, and then, like until the end that you have a ready-made concept of a service that is implementable. So it's very collaborative. It's bringing people together. So this is a service designer usually is doing this kind of work. I will go ahead and talk a bit about me, and please let me know if there is any question in the chat while I speak. You can interrupt me anytime. Yes, so I'm born and raised in Rio. I'm from there, and then I decided at some point, I was working there, at some point I decided that I want to do this, I want to evolve in my career as a designer. And then I found this very good master's called International Design Business Management. So it was a master's that joined, it was about business design, and joined technology, business, and arts together. So that interested me a lot. It was very well ranked. And then that's when I came to Finland. That happened 12 years ago. And by that time, I was planning to come here, do my master, and most probably move back. But then, life happens, and I continued. I did an internship actually in Germany, and I missed Finland a lot. Then I decided to come back. I opened my own consultancy. In this consultancy, I was basically working with employee experience, which is something that I continue working today as well. It's part of my job as well. Not only the customer, not only the user experience, also the employee experience, on for example, tools that they have been, they need to use. So in this consultancy, we were three, and we basically had, workshops. We had offerings for companies who wanted to find ways to co-innovate, co-create with their employees. And we ran many workshops with big companies such as Airbus, such as Royal Caribbean, and also small companies. I collaborated with the co-working spaces. And so we supported them mainly through workshops for this kind of innovation, like coming from the employees, taking the ideas from the employees. Then at some point, the consultancy, like the team, started to shake a bit. We were not dealing well anymore, so we started fighting. That's when I was also very lucky to meet my first manager at KONE. It was like actually my mentor from Aalto recommended me to her, and she told me, hey, why don't you apply? We are looking for service designers at KONE. And that's how my journey at KONE started. That happened 9 years ago within KONE. And this is, I think, something that is very good and very nice. I experienced at KONE is that I was able to not only be like working as a service designer and grow as a service designer, but I was also able to, move to the business side at some point because I wanted to learn more about the business. I've been doing I was doing a lot of services for the customers, but I was feeling that I need to understand better how our business work and together with the countries, So that's when I did a 1 year experience working as a sales development manager. And then after this 1 year, I realized that, yeah, I'm a designer. It was great learning. I went back to service design, and here I am. I'm a mom of 6 solutions that we have in the market. I call them my babies. Of course, not, I'm not the only one working behind these huge projects and products, but I like to see them as my babies because I have my finger there. So for example, the KONE Care offering, something that is right now, we are selling it, the KONE Care contract tool. So this is the tool that our salespeople utilize to sell maintenance offerings. KONE Online and KONE Mobile, those are our customer facing portals, as well as 24/7 Connect and Planner. So those are more the offering that is about, it's a bit more predictive, it's a bit higher level, a bit a bit more intelligent than a normal maintenance that we do for equipment. And the Planner helps, it's like asset management planning for facility managers or building owners that want to control better their expenses with, for example, equipment maintenance. I've been doing, one thing that I like to do is to support the international community in Finland. I've been doing some volunteering here and there. Anytime there is an opportunity, anytime that is some good, cause and good organization, I join as a volunteer. Like my last one was together with the Entry Point from Espoo City, mentoring, designers, a designer from also like new in Finland and trying to navigate the Finnish market as a designer. And then I also have like now a real baby. I have a 4-year-old baby. That's not much baby, but but will always be my baby. That's me in a nutshell. And then I'll talk a bit about KONE. Most probably many of you already know. So we are dedicated to people flow. We move people, like 1 billion people per day. We have over 60,000 employees globally. So the headquarters is here in Finland, in Espoo, but there are KONE. You can find KONE basically everywhere in the world. And we reach something around 550,000 customers. So from building owners, builders, facility managers, architects, consultants. And this is actually one reason why I see that my work is extremely important, because understanding those customers and understanding the different experience for different customers is extremely complex within KONE. We have many different products, and the life cycle of a building is extremely long. We need to understand like the journey of our customers. We need to understand the different needs of different customers at different moments along the life cycle of a building. Now, going to the design team, a bit on the design at KONE. I'll just put this down so I can also see. So we are 60 plus designers globally, and then like we are working with many different design disciplines. I will talk about those. As you can see, we have offices, like design offices here in Finland, where you see the design leadership, industrial design, UX and UI, as well as service design. We have India as well, with industrial UX, UI, and service design, China as well, and then North America. We have it's a very small representation that we have there, but we have someone there that work together with us, but then is kind of physically representing the design in North America. And at KONE, we strive for this one KONE. So when we talk about design, we try to be very holistic and think all the different touch points the user and the customer will have with our products and our solutions. So we are looking into the physical aspect. We look into the architectural spaces, the devices. We also look into we are very careful also with our digital interface, our user interfaces, our digital experiences. And then there are also the services. So the offerings and the experiences that they go, like they connect the product, the digital solution, as well as our own personnel, and like the service that is like the process as well. So this combination of different aspects are put together under the services. Just a bit about our design. So we have been recognized with 40 plus awards already, and those are some of them, and we are very proud of that. And even though we are an elevator company, and many people elevator escalator company, many people don't really think of KONE as what do you do as a designer there. And actually there is a lot to do, and many things that people don't realize, they don't perceive, but they just feel good when they are riding an elevator, an escalator, when they are in the mall, and then the escalator is part of that, is part of that building. It composes in within the architecture design there. So and also that the elevator and the escalator is working perfectly, and the people who are making it work perfectly, the facility managers are also happy, and they can do that easily. So that's there is a lot of design behind this background work that people usually don't perceive. Then talking a bit about, so I want to talk now about service design. So I will start talking about what we do. And I think, I don't know how much people know about service design, but I want to contextualize this within a design team. So here you have our design team and our different disciplines, our different, so we have the design in India, as I mentioned, we have the service and digital design, the industrial design, reference design, experience design, and then the design in China that is also, like we are they have all those four, you know, topics, but then connected with the global design. They are our representatives there. And then within the service and digital design, that's where service design competence is located. At the moment, I work as a service design, as a service design lead for a certain product, as well as a competence lead. So I'm ensuring that our tools, our methods, our ways of working are consistent, are like represent the KONE way of doing. So that's what I've been doing as a competence lead. I support our designers, our service designers, to work better, work more efficient, you know, don't have to reinvent the wheel every time there is a new workshop, for example. And then I also support the company to become more customer-centric, utilizing design thinking. I don't know if many of you have heard about this term, but I will mention it in a minute. But I also try to bring this customer centricity. I'm an ambassador of customer centricity through many different initiatives. Sometimes we have, like last time we had the transformation objectives, and there we had objectives for in which were mainly like service design led to support R&D work more customer in a more customer focused way. It's important to say that KONE, the roots of KONE, it's an engineering company, so it's a very technical company, and it's very easy for people to jump already into the solution, into the specifics, without considering much the user or the customer. And the whole company, the culture in the company is that we are customer centric, and people understand the need for that. But it's hard for many engineers to understand, okay, but how do I do this? You know, how do I consider the customer? Where can I find the information about that customer or about the user for me when I'm doing my work? So this is something that I've been looking into and trying to support the R&D to work more customer centric, you know, like giving them the tools and the information that is required. Then, as said, service design is a bit, it's quite broad, and this is our purpose. This is KONE service design purpose. So this is our statement. We co-create usable, desire, and viable services and solutions. So it's important to say that we are not the ones doing it alone. We are bringing people together, and then we are doing this together. So we ensure that the business perspective, the business value is in there. We ensure that the technology is there, that we are able to do that work. And we ensure that it's also the user is being considered, that the experience will be good and it will be valuable for the user, you know. So we try to bring those three perspectives together, bringing the right stakeholders together when creating a certain solution. And I want to talk a bit about the specificity of the, you know, the discipline. So service design, you may also call as product design, you know, like there are a lot of places that call product, like we need product designers. And when I see the description, I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I do as a service designer. I can also find, you know, descriptions for UX designer that is very much like what we do. So the term, it's not word-wide used, so which can be a bit tricky if you're trying to find work within the area. So you have to look not only for service design. Here in Finland, service design is very common, especially among the big corporations, the big companies. But then if you go to, you know, US, or if you are looking for other work in other areas, you may, in other areas of the world, you may find similar work under the name of product design, under the name of UX design. or then even sometimes even product manager. Many service designers do become product managers or product owners. So it may be that you may have to have some a bit more managerial knowledge in there to become a product manager or an owner, but you know, it fits. Like I've seen it happening and working well. So for any question, or can I just continue?
There are, but we usually leave them at the end, so we have a questions answer session then. You have about 10 minutes for the presentation. Okay,
so let's then continue. This is just a bit about the principles of service design. We are customer centric. We are always putting the customer, the user, you know, at the core of whatever we are doing. We co-create, as I said. We are bringing the right people together to co-create the solution. It's iterative. We don't do it in a goal like directly. We go and then we go back and then we try with prototypes, you know, and then we learn and then we iterate and then we try to fail fast as well. We try to bring things that maybe the user will not like, so we know that what is that they don't want, for example, you know. So this is part of our principle as well. Holistic, what you mentioned before on the journeys, that it's part of my work, practical part of my work, to look at the end-to-end journey, which is something that is very challenging, but that's important that we understand like the big picture. So a small solution, you know, like how does this fit in this big picture, in this big journey that our customer is going through. Then it's consistent. We strive for consistency. We strive for to make it easier for the users to see, like, oh, okay, I get it. I see it's KONE. I get it. It's this way. How it's gonna be done. You know, I've seen this before. You know, so it's always the same. We are trying to follow consistency in not like in design elements, but also in service elements. And it's generative. We create stuff. We create services. We create experiences. We create digital solutions. Some areas where service design can be applied, as I said, you know, it goes from the back-end process to the strategies. You know, I've mentioned already innovations, you know, like sometimes like this is what, for example, I do that as well at KONE, but I did a lot in my previous, in my own company before, you know, utilizing the service design for innovation, for offerings, the KONE maintenance, the KONE offering, KONE Care offering, maintenance offering is one example. Like sometimes we just have concepts that they don't go through, like they stop at concepts, and we did as well. We do the process and sometimes they go forward. Omni-channel experiences, for example, you know, KONE Online and KONE Mobile, our customer-facing channels, touch points, customer journeys, as I mentioned before, and then also the back-end processes. This is, now I'm going back to the process, and this is the design thinking process I was talking about, and I'm sure many of you have already seen this. And this is it's iterative, so it doesn't go straight from point one to point A to point B, but we do and go back. We do the discovery part. We go to the definition. We may have to go back to discover, and then do another round, and then find a definition of a concept of what is it that what is this that we are going to do, and then we go to development and then deliver. So the service designer is involved, or should be involved, in all of those phases to ensure that we are delivering a user-friendly and consistent, holistic, you know, service. Here, I wanted to bring, like, open up those steps. So to be a bit more practical. So for example, when I talk about discover, what does that mean? That's when we are going to look for insights. It may be that we have a business challenge, and then we need to understand the pains. You need to understand what is behind that challenge with the customers, with the users, with the people paying, with the people using the service, or we go and then we can shadow, we can interview, we can have some questionnaire, we can do some ethnography. We understand what are the jobs to be done of different users, or different customers. We can conduct focus groups. We do some desktop research always. We try to understand a bit before going to the field, talking with customers and users. We look into trends, and then the competitive landscape benchmarking. So this is what we do on the insights phase. Then we move to analysis. So after collecting a lot of understanding from like the pains, the jobs to be done, the gains from different users, from different, like stakeholders, we start analyzing it. And that's how we can do, like, we can utilize insights clustering, customer profiles. We understand the personas. I do like to work a lot with need-based personas. So depending on their needs, making the 2x2 framework, we have customer journeys. That's when we start creating the customer journeys, the user journeys. So you can see that a lot of the different, ways of making sense of this huge amount of information that we gathered during the discovery phase. Then we go to the development phase, where ideation happens. So usually what we do is, after we gather like all those insights and we make sense of those insights, we bring this to many to key stakeholders within the company. So business owners, product owners, and then whoever is involved in that product or project, we bring them the findings, and then we do workshops to support co-creation, to support some okay, now what, so those are the challenges. How might we for example solve those? What do we want to focus? Where should we focus? What makes sense for us at this moment? This is what we learn. This is like, and now what do we want to do? So we have this ideation sessions. And after we decide, okay, let's focus on this area. Those are some ideas that we have. Let's sketch, and we sketch. Now it's the time to prototype. It's the time to validate. And then we can run the whole, like, again, the discovery part with a prototype. You can bring a prototype to validate everything you think is the best way to solve a certain challenge of the customer, of the user. So we create prototypes, and there are many different ways of creating prototypes. And then at the end, we deliver, and that's the time where we have to develop. So like, this is when it goes out, and we can do like that data analysis. We do some testing. It can be like A/B testing. We put like two different like solutions together, very similar, so that we know which one is the best, or which one resonates best. Here as well, we can also see this part as when we have a product and we want to improve it, we can utilize this development phase, like those tools, those methods, to really understand like, what is it that we need to improve. So we look into our KPIs, we look into how we are performing in this journey, in this customer experience, and then we can make some quick testing, quick A/B testing, quick iterations there, prototypes, and then develop quick things. So kind of the improvement part also happen in this second phase of second part, like half of the double diamond framework. Just some examples of those are a bit old projects examples, so those are already on the market. Of course, we have new ones coming out, and these are always evolving. So you can see in the middle, you see, for example, our customer facing that I was saying before, our customer facing tool. So the KONE Online, KONE Mobile. You can see also the 24/7 Connect on the left hand side in blue. So how our users or how our customers know beforehand that there's something going on with their equipment and that we are already doing something about it. So they don't have to contact us. We are on top of the challenge with the equipment, for example. We have as well here elevator call. But as I said, those are not the only ones. We also have offerings that were created with the support of design, you know, and internal tools as well. So that's it from my side. I think I'm on time, and please let's now I'm open for questions, and I'm also open for continuing conversation on many different social medias, but also but especially on LinkedIn. That's how you find me. So that's it. Any questions now?
Thank you very much. And yes, we have actually quite many questions in the chat. We will be also having voice questions, or questions with voice if we have time. But let's start from the ones that we already have. So one question from Sabina. How do you explain the let's start with that one. How do you explain the separation of service design from experience design? If service design is concerned with the internal and or external customers' experience, like, is that the difference, or how would you explain it?
Yeah, and this is what I was saying about this flexibility of the area. Well, within service design, we work with experience design, you know, at least at KONE, we do work with experience design, and we work with the UX people. So at KONE, the difference, the way like, we do have the competencies there, but we also enable people to navigate from one to another, because we don't see like a barrier. So we see that some people are better doing something and then others are better doing something else. The difference here that we see with UX, for example, and design and service design is UX usually focus in at KONE. They focus a lot on the digital experience, the tool experience. They will bring the flows, they will bring the, you know, the interface, they will create the interface, they will create the flow of the information flow, and they will create the, you know, they will look into that part. And then the service designer may look at more into a bigger picture. So we would see that channel, how does that connect, you know, and how that is supporting the users, and how is this connecting with different stakeholders, you know. And so it's a bit like we use this service blueprint that we see like this channel. So this is just one small thing in this big picture here, and this is connected here, it's connected here, it's connected here, it's impacting this part, it's impacting this part. So we see as a like more in the big picture, while the UX people are looking more in the detail, in the interface experience there.
Thank you very much. I think that's very much connected to that question is the next question. Which one do you think it's easier to get into as a junior?
It depends. It depends on your background, right? I mean, if you are very good, if you're good with the, like, I think if you go for UX design, I think you need to be good also doing UI. But you know, like, of course, like different companies may see it a bit differently. But I think if you are going to UX, you do have to have some, at least some user interface design competence, you know, that you are able to, you know, create interfaces. And then if you're going for service design, maybe you want to be, you may be better, you know, with your workshop facilitation, understanding a bit the business language, understanding business design. You may want to, you know, so I don't know if there is an easier path. It's a bit different. It's where you want to focus your career. Like, are you better doing, you know, like UI and, you know, focusing on an interface, or are you better, you know, on a big picture and then exploring and discussing business and discussing, you know, even, you know, a bit of technology with technology, like with the people from the engineers and IT people. So it's a bit, you know, like I don't think there is an easy one, like it's like easier one. So it's,
yeah, it goes back to what you would love to do and where your passion lies and so forth.
exactly.
So, but still, I would like to ask, I think you mentioned already some, but if a person would be interested into aiming a career in service design, are there any courses or tools or certifications that you would suggest having, like acquiring?
Yeah, there is, and from the time I started to nowadays, there are service design courses now. I learned, like at that moment there was actually, I don't remember there was even there, I think there was one course in Aalto, but now I know that, for example, many of our of institutions here in Finland, they offer courses and on service design. They offer you know, like the whole package. I don't know exactly which one of, like, what is what, and you know, so, but I think if you search for service design, you will find a lot of courses here in Finland in many universities. Metropolia, I know they do. I think Aalto also do. So they all do those. And but you can also, there is also another path. You can also look for product design. There are boot camps for product design. And that is also, you know, like what I was saying, that as a product designer, you may apply for a service design position and vice versa. You know, you just need to check the description that you have, what is required. But it may be that you can, you know, like, so if you do product design bootcamp, for example, and if you Google product design bootcamp, you'll find many, and you'll find remote ones, you know, there. It's also something that it's a way also to enter in the area.
Very good. We have a couple of our listeners already sharing also like different courses that are available. But there's one question also from Arpna. Could you tell please some important prototyping tools?
Well, there are plenty of them. Actually, in that slide, there was there was no tools there. But for example, Figma, we use Figma a lot for prototyping interfaces. I've done even, you know, like prototypes, like physical prototypes to prototype a service. So we had the channels, so we had the physical prototypes in there. So, but we use a lot Figma. There is of course Sketch. If you're not a Figma user, you can go for Sketch. Then there is let me think. I remember there used to be also some open applications for, you know, some apps. I don't know, I haven't been using them recently, but that you could, you know, for example, take picture of your sketch and then make them as a wireframe, and then that would be a prototype, like rough prototype. What we usually do is like we create Figma prototypes, and we or then we do like physical prototypes. We have like real prototypes that we look into how people behave with those prototypes. So that's mainly our our
Thank you.
way
Thanks
of
a lot.
working.
There was also one question in the beginning. If you talk about customer journey or customer experiences and customers' needs, are you talking about the users or the customers who buy the products?
Yeah, and this is something that I it's a huge debate, and we have this huge debate inside KONE as well. Usually, the way I put is that the customer is the one who is buying. That's the way I see it, the one that is paying, or then the one who is deciding. It could be that there is a team that is buying, so procurement is buying, but then there is a person that is actually deciding on the service. So these are like what we consider by customers. And then there are the users. So it may be that, and this happens a lot at KONE, that the person who is buying or deciding the service is not actually the person who will be using. So this person is deciding, buying, and then there will be the facility manager who will be using, for example, our tools, and they will be the one checking, the elevator status, checking if maintenance was done properly. And then the ones who are going to be served are the users, the tenants. So like, it's important always so the way I try to put customers and users, but it is important to really open this, like with a stakeholder map, every time you are doing something, that who are those people, like we may call users also our technicians, so sometimes we do things for them, so they are the users of our tools as well, and the users for a certain project. So every project will be a bit different, but when I try to say customer and users, I try to add the people who are buying, who are deciding, and who are using it.
Very good. So customer-centric means that you're considering all the different stakeholders that are experiencing your services or products.
Yeah.
If I may summarize. Okay, so we don't have currently more questions in the chat. If somebody wants to ask, please raise your hand first. But I do have one question, or actually two from my side. So first of all, I would like to ask, what is the internal working language at KONE? Is it English, because we have a lot of internationals here today? And what is the general policy or culture or openness to hire juniors or interns even?
So at KONE, yes, the language is English. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. I don't speak Finnish, even though I've been here for 12 years. My Finnish is really bad. So I work in English, and like the whole design team is very international. If you're applying for a global position, it will be international. It will be in English, most probably. Of course, if you go for a country position, so a position as a salesperson, like these areas, or within we call them frontline, the ones who are, selling our products or operating or managing not managing, but serving our customers, those do speak the language of the country. So we have the Finnish office here as well, and there you need to speak Finnish. But for a global role, English, design role, English. We do, of course, have internships, and actually it's one of the easiest way to get in, because every summer we have interns, intern positions open. And many times we are able to get, 1-2 interns in there. We are also able to get thesis writer. So if people are writing their thesis, they can also apply. I can look for this is all in our pages, like KONE careers. You can find all this information in there, but I can of course look into like where exactly this is and share. But it's pretty easy. If you go to KONE careers, KONE.com, KONE careers, you will find the different possibilities there. And it's always, the process will always be the same. Of course, you can contact people, you know, to say that you are interested, but you do need to apply through our process. So there will be an opening, you know, and then you will be you will have to apply from there. So I would suggest to keep an eye on KONE designers, you know, LinkedIn, for example, because many times when we have openings, we are reposting those openings with the link, and then people can apply.
Very good tip. One more question, which has kind of gone through the whole day, through every session, is that, is it possible to work remotely? Or do people have to go to the office all the time?
No, luckily not. We used to be more office focused. Nowadays, we work hybrid, in a hybrid mode. Of course, we see that it's good to go to the office once in a while to build synergies. So at least within the service and digital design, if not in one of those offices I mentioned, for example, North America or China or India or then Finland, you know, remote like positions are not possible. I mean, like you cannot work from Portugal for Finland, you know. So if you are like hired by Design Finland, you most probably will be in Finland, but you can work from home, and I work from home most of the days because, you know, I like to focus. But then when there are like, you know, workshops, when there are you know, like there are certain prototyping sessions, those are good to, you know, be there with the people and do things with the people. So we do go to the office sometimes, but it's a hybrid situation.
Super. There's one more question. I think it's very important. We should address that. Which skills KONE design interns should have?
KONE design, sorry?
Interns. If somebody applies for an internship in design at KONE, like what kind of skills are already required or looked for?
It depends. It depends. Right now, we have 2 interns actually. One is more focusing on business design and measuring, you know, business design. He's also writing his thesis on this topic. And then we have another one that just graduated, and he's focusing on, he's a service designer, UX designer, but he has been working with the design systems. So I think basic skills, you know, on design are enough, and of course it will depend on what you want to do, right? Like and it will depend on the position. So we have sometimes open positions for product design, and there you may need to be able to do some 3D modeling, and you know, like it will be a bit different than if you are hired as an intern for service design, that you will need a bit more like business modeling understanding, or you know, end-to-end customer journey creation, and you know, like this the skills will be a bit different, but usually basic design, you know, like basic design skills that you get from the courses or the university or whatever higher education you get, that's enough for starting.
Is it possible to apply also without having a higher education, but going through some reskilling programs or shorter intensive ones?
I would have to check that. I think it will depend on the position and the requirements that they have there. I would say so, but I don't want to say for sure 100%, but I would say so. I think it's also about, can you do something? I think design is a lot about this, right? Like, can you do, and can you prove you can do? Do you have a portfolio? Can you show that you can do that? And yeah, but I would need to confirm if there is a need, maybe not for a design official, you know, higher education, but yeah, I would need to check that. I'm not sure.
But it's also good insights that when you come and apply, it's good to have a portfolio to show
Absolutely.
what you can do, and then perhaps it doesn't even matter how you acquired those skills, but
Exactly.
the fact that you can do them, or you can do already something, is a proof that you're worthy of becoming a part of KONE interns community.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think that we've reached a point where it's we really need to take a little bit of a break to refresh ourselves, to be fresh for the last presenter, last but not least, who will talk about UX. So very much connected to your presentation, and now we can learn what this is about. So thank you. It was very insightful, and I believe that people got a lot of answers to many of their questions from your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gisa. Thanks a lot. And just a reminder for international that are applying to this intern position. Gisa, you mentioned the summer jobs, but a lot of people apply during the summer. Wrong answer. Those positions are usually open during the winter. So you apply during the winter to have the summer job.
Absolutely.
So don't wait until it's May or June and then you realize nothing is open anymore. So the companies start to recruit in December, January, February top, and then you start in the summer.
Exactly. You have to be open, like keep your eye open already, like after the summer, you start keeping your eye open for summer jobs.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. I will now stop the record.